Democrats aren't afraid of the Guard. They're afraid the Guard might work, and they'll look feckless. So they're cooking.
Well, that's the thing is, like, you do realize that the mayors of these states that are giving Trump the most trouble, like, they want to say that what they've been doing is effective. But if the National Guard comes in and cleans up their state, they're going to look like a bunch of idiots.
Up conspiracies. Trump wants to drone strike Americans.
Do they believe that they have the authority by putting some groups on a list, even domestic groups, to use lethal force against them with no trial, no due process, no nothing? And, you know, the reality is we can't rule that out.
First, they said Trump's going to use the Guard to steal elections.
If they're an illegal immigrant, they should not have the same rights as an American citizen. The Constitution should not even be able to be applied to them, period. If they're illegally here, get them the fuck out.
And now he's going to call in airstrikes over Portland? At least our conspiracy theories turn out to be true.
Right?
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is here. Governor, I mean, they are just out of their minds.
Well, I'll tell you what, when Joe Biden was president, you had governors like me step up and say, wait a minute, they're not enforcing immigration laws. We're going to step up and fill the void. We're going to be faithful to the laws that are on the books. And we were told, oh, no, it's a federal function. The federal government can decide one way or another. Now, the flip side, the shoe's on the other foot. And
yeah,
you have
they're
Donald
doing
Trump
all this.
enforcing federal law, and you have the left in Portland and Chicago. They're not saying it's a federal. They're actively stymieing the enforcement of federal immigration laws. I could tell you in Chicago, I didn't know about that lieutenant governor. I saw that clip. I could tell you their governor and mayor of Chicago have caused a lot of people to flee both Illinois and Chicago and move.
See, this right here should be illegal. This right here should be illegal. If you're there to protest, you're not there to pop fireworks. In most places, it's illegal to have fireworks in the city. Why are they allowing this? You do realize that whenever these protesters, they have these fireworks, they should immediately either be fined or put in jail for having these fireworks. It's illegal to have them in the city limits. In most places. Like, you're allowing them to sit there and pop fireworks, set fires, and destroy property without putting them in jail.
To my state over the years, and if that lieutenant governor gets unleashed, I think you'll see an even bigger exodus.
Yeah, whenever I'm down in Naples, I see a lot of people from the Chicago area, and I've been seeing more and more as I've been going down over the years. What happens next, though? So, you know, JB Back Ribs is talking a big game. He's saying, you know,
I'm not going to lie. The Trump administration has done nothing but talk a big game. That seems to be the thing that they keep doing. So far, it's all talk and no do. Now, I've seen a couple do's whenever it came to ending some wars overseas. Now, I do think that's awesome. And it looks like the Israel nonsense is about to wrap up over there as well. Hopefully, they can stop all this damn killing between these two countries. But I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's just like a Democratic Party. It seems like it's all talk, and hopefully within the next 2 years we can actually see the do. You know what I'm saying?
My dead body's going to have to come through me first. What happens if this goes through the court system and they say Trump can send in the Guard? What is the governor going to do?
Well, I don't think he's going to ultimately do anything.
It's just going to be like what happened over in, that is Chicago. It's going to be just like Chicago. Whenever they decided to sign that stupid ice-free zone, whatever that nonsense is called, where you can, they put up all these signs that say that you can't technically take places without the owner's consent, but there's no way for them to enforce that. There's literally no way for the Chicago PD to enforce that whenever you're calling 999s whenever they need help. So, like,
I mean, that's part of the problem. He has not been somebody who has wanted to aggressively enforce laws against the criminal element. In fact, they had legislation to eliminate cash bail. So you'd have people commit serious crimes, they'd go get arraigned, and then they get released back on the street with no bail or no restriction or anything. And that has caused huge problems in the state and obviously in the city.
No, but you got to remember, though, they were able to lower the prison numbers, though. That's what mattered. See, what mattered to them most was lowering the prison numbers so that way they could say that they were doing something good when really all they were doing was literally releasing violent convicts back onto the streets of their own city. But they're the good guys, though, right?
So ultimately, I think the public is on the side of the president. And what I've found, Jesse, is public safety is primal for people. You know, you can disagree.
You know why? Because people are going to vote you into office based on their own safety. When you take away and you get down to the base view of it, if your life depends on somebody else doing what they're supposed to do, you're going to make sure they're going to do what they're supposed to do. For 100%.
With someone on taxes, on education, but when your family's safety is at risk, you want to see that remedied. A lot of people have moved to Florida because of public safety, but just like D.C., the media said this is the worst thing ever, and the locals in D.C., even the mayor was saying thank you, and the crime went down. So I think this crime issue is very potent, and I think it spans the political cleavages that we have in our society. People want safe streets.
Yeah, people are tired of being forced to not only spend over 9 to 12 hours a day at work and then go home and have to worry about being mugged or dealing with a fence zombie standing outside of a Circle K. They just want to be able to get gas without being harassed or robbed. They want to be able to go home and spend 2 days off and not have to worry about their fucking vehicle being broken into because of these criminals they keep catching and releasing. They're tired of it, man. Everyone's tired of this. We've already got enough on our plate. We don't need some jackass going and robbing us on top of everything. Nobody wants to deal with that.
So why do you think the Democrats...
Especially not whenever it's our taxpayer dollars that are putting these dumbasses in office. Like, come on. Let's use a little bit of common sense here.
Will give Trump credit for seeking peace in the Middle East, but not for seeking peace here. What's the difference? And how do you feel about this deal in Gaza?
Well, I think it's
going to be hilarious whenever all that shit gets solved. So all these fucking idiots that are running around with all these foreign flags that are still going to be doing it because they're paid protesters aren't even going to have anything to bitch about anymore. They're just going to be protesting to protest at that point. Like, what have you got to complain about? He's literally fixing the problem right now. It's going to be over in a matter of a couple weeks. You do realize that, right? That Trump will have solved 3 wars in a span of half a year?
Their instincts are so knee-jerk, especially when it comes to immigration.
Now, I don't think they're going to last, in my opinion, but he solved them for the time being, and they'll probably last for the next 3 years, as long as Trump's in office. Because Trump didn't fuck around with it.
His signature issue when he first ran many years ago was the border wall and enforcing immigration laws. They hated that. They've opposed that every step in the way. So I'm
not a big fan of Trump. I'd like to make that very known. I don't give a shit who's running the office. As long as they're trying for the American people, at this point, the bar's pretty goddamn low. It's low, boys. The bar's real low. I didn't vote for any of these clowns. I think they're all clowns. And as far as I'm concerned, it's all talk and no do at this point. But we'll see.
That's their reflex. I think that's them catering to their base. And I think that that's just what they've done for many, many years. Look, on this deal, I think that the one thing that I can tell has been constant in the Middle East is the Palestinian Arabs and especially Hamas, they've cared more about destroying Israel than they have cared about taking care of their own citizens.
People, yeah.
And that has been the obstacle to peace for many, many years. And so we'll have to see. Proof will be in the pudding. Trust but verify. If this deal sticks, that's going to be something that really has never been able to be done in many, many decades of trying to do this. And I think one of the key elements is...
Well, you know why? Because Trump said, come to the table or else. That's why. We have the most advanced, most expensive military in the fucking world. We fucking bombed an apartment that held officials and didn't even hurt the rest of the building. It was like finding a needle in the haystack and then blowing up the needle without touching or burning any of the hay. You understand how advanced that weaponry is? It is long overdue for us to stop doing this and start using the weapons that we have and stop using our ground troops. And stop dragging this bullshit out. We have the weapons and the tools to end this literally overnight. Give them a warning, and if they don't want to fucking listen, show them what the American armed forces can do. Enough of this. Enough of this childish bullshit. Everyone's tired of it. Everyone's tired of hearing people bitch and complain and moan online about it. Everyone's tired of seeing these dumbass protesters. Everyone is tired of it. They're tired of it. It's been going on for long enough. Even the people in the countries are tired of it. They're tired of all the death and loss of life. They're tired of it. They want this shit to be done. And I don't blame them. I'd want it to be over with too. It's a bunch of fucking 1% motherfuckers in their civilization that own all the fucking cards, all the money, and all the power, forcing these poor people, not poor as in sorrow for them, poor as in financially fucked, like most Americans, that are making these decisions that get a lot of them killed. And before governments start getting overthrown, they need to solve this shit. Seriously, enough is enough.
Those Middle Eastern...
Bitch, think about that. Like, would you rather die fighting a foreign country that you know is a bullshit fight? Or would you rather die trying to overthrow your own country, knowing full well that you could set in motion the future of your country? I mean, shit. Either way you gonna die, you might as well be doing what you want to do.
Countries respect the strength of President Trump. They know that he is decisive, as you saw with the Iran strikes. In that region, they want to be on the side of the strong horse. So I think he's been able to amass an impressive coalition, and hopefully we can end up with peace in the region at long last.
All right. It's been quite a long time since we've said that. Hopefully everything stays together. Governor DeSantis, good to see you.
I don't think it will. I'm not going to sit here and bullshit with you. I don't think it will. I think that it'll stay the way it is until another pussyfoot fucking person gets into office and no longer is going to enforce it like what Trump is doing. I really think that's what's going to happen. Honestly. Like, we've had so many pussyfoot fucking presidents get into office and not do shit. And it's just, enough is enough.